Right now, this is Ticker News Insight.
Hello and welcome back to Ticker News Insight, where we are looking to focus on the best of business with very clever people joining us from all around the world. I'm your host, Mike Loder, and to our latest story. And we are talking to RedEarth Energy Storage co-founder and CEO, Charlie Walker, to talk about electricity prices, the transition towards renewables, and battery energy storage, all of which continue to be hot topics. Australian company RedEarth is developing a niche for itself as a homegrown company, giving customers a way to turn their own home or business into a private power plant. Very cool stuff. Charlie, thanks for joining me. Good to see you.
Pleasure, Mike. Pleasure to be here.
Hey, there's a lot of great ideas out there, but not all businesses make it, especially in this sector. What makes a successful startup based on what you've seen?
Well, we've been going for about 10 years now, and looking back at the journey, I think we potentially had a bit of luck along the way, but most importantly, I would say it's the spread of skills required to grow and run a business. And I think unless you're blessed, like Elon Musk, it's very hard to do that all in one person. And so us and the co-founders had a good deal of the skills covered between us, and I think that served us well. Persistence, for sure. Persistence is a very, very key element. There's always setbacks, but you've just got to know to keep going and have the belief in what you're doing. I think that's one of the biggest things is just know by the looks on the customers' faces that you're doing the right thing. And as long as you know that and you get it back from the customers, then the belief's there. And
absolutely,
I think the three things.
Yeah, very well said. So you've spent a few years investing into R&D at RedEarth Energy Storage. Why was that so important to you guys, and what did the process look like a little bit?
Yeah, so I think when you're coming into an industry, regardless of who the incumbents are, you have to add value to the customers, and that's very old school, but in order to do in our world, it was full of components. But when we focused on the customer, we realized that there was lots of things that weren't addressed, and customers will pay. They'll pay for things and color and that sort of thing. But knowing that, I think, is what came out of the R&D, as well as good products, and in particular the ability to remotely control. I think that was a technical thing that we did.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting stuff for sure. Were there any key learnings from that period, I guess, that helped you develop your business in a way that you hadn't foreseen when you were first starting out? It's always an interesting one to talk to people like yourself about.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think back to the iPhone. When we had an iPhone, it had a little camera, a little light on the back, and the light was originally to help pictures, but they turned it into an actual torch. And I think we've seen a lot of those examples, because when you engage with the customers, they come up with things you just never imagined. And I think for us, what came out of that process was knowing the customers so well to realize we were only addressing 25% of what the customers needed. They needed other things. They needed to plug in their car. They needed to reduce their bills. They needed to potentially benefit from the solar on their roof more than anyone else did. So they were very, very unexpected, but I think at least we captured most of those learnings as we went through. And the unexpected part today is managing the household economics almost, or managing the household, creating passive income from their solar with all of our systems. And that was pretty unexpected.
Well, just moving through and on to that, clean tech and energy storage are obviously a hot industry right now, with the global transition towards renewables well underway. What makes RedEarth different to other companies in the same space?
Yeah, I think it's focusing on the household needs, and it's very old school. I've been to business school, and they say focus on the customer. And if you're selling soap, it's pretty difficult to focus on the customer. But in a new industry like we're in, that really does generate a lot of opportunities. And focusing on the customer, listening to them importantly. And I think we would say the household economics, understanding the economics. And then along the way, we realized that energy is going to be an asset of the future, and customers can make it cheaply and greenly to their financial benefit. And so following the money was very important, because it helped us as a commercial enterprise. But suddenly, 10 years later, we get customers interested, and the government's interested in securing energy for the nation and reducing fossil fuels. So that's a nice tailwind. But I think again, focusing on the customer's P&L, if you like.
100%. Hey, Charlie, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the program. It's all the time I've got for you for the moment, but good luck to you and the team. And I understand there are some exciting things underway, and of course it will be interesting to see how this space continues to unfold into the future.
Watch this space. Thanks very much, Mike. Pleasure to be here.
Best. And of course, thank you to all of you for tuning in. I've been your host, Mike Loder. I hope you've learned something from my discussion there with Charlie. And be sure to head to tickernews.co for breaking news coming to you from right around the world. See you again soon. Be well.